Today I heard a article on churchleaders.com. It was addressing the abortion issue, and it was titled "Abortion Isn't About Women's Health." And I have to totally agree with this article. In this day and age, we often tend to like to shift our responsibilities onto somebody else. In the garden, man shifted his responsibilities onto his wife instead of taking responsibility and leading his home. Man is the messenger of the home, as God is the head of the church. He is the leader of his home. We do not, in any case, at any point, have the right to say that one life is good for us and not for another. It is our responsibility as men to make sure that we protect not only our home but our children, and never to put out a relative, no matter at what point or stage in their life. It's not right to put out a senior citizen once they become back to the age where they cannot function completely by themselves and will need extra help. It is not right to put out a child who is unruly and belligerent. You have to think about your child. You can separate, but it is another thing to completely put them out. If your toddler is acting a fool, you can't go and murder your toddler just because they're acting out, or for that matter, they may be a financial strain on your life. You have to be responsible, man, for what you do. If you lay down with a woman, whether you are ready for it or not, whether you have a condom on or not, you are putting yourself in a place to have children in and out of wedlock. With that stated, we can safely assume that once a child is conceived, it is our responsibility as men to protect our children, just as it is our responsibility to be leaders of our women, not just because they're the so-called weaker vessel, but because God has put us in the place of leadership in the home, and that we're supposed to have our wives in a subjective role. Now that's a submissive role, not a subjective, I want to change that word, submissive role. And that does not mean that we are to abuse them and mistreat them or think of them as inferior to us, but we by all means have to say that we are the leaders and the ones held accountable by God to do these things. So, faith being the principle, faith being the reason, you have to think now, well, okay, that's just you speaking in faith. Well, if you want me to, I can give it to you like this. It is your responsibility to make sure that every person that is in your grasp, and that includes within the little being that's inside your girlfriends or wives' bellies, are taken care of. If you were to sit here and tell me that the government doesn't hold you responsible for the children that you have created, well, what happens when the baby comes out the womb? Well, they immediately have you sign a certificate of notice that this is your child, and they make you pay financially for that child. They make you financially responsible for them. Does the responsibility start when you say, when your wife is with a child? No, it starts very much in the womb. That responsibility, you need to make sure the woman is taken care of, that her body is okay, that she is resting properly, and all these things that need to be done for her to have a successful pregnancy. And you too can have little ones running around like I do. So at the end of the day, it is our responsibility as men to take care of our wives. Black men, don't be foolish. Let's not be heinous here. We're one of the biggest communities when it comes down to the abortion areas. They want to control the population of us, and the easy way to do that is to renege the responsibilities and let us shift it on to someone else. Don't be foolish, black men. This is a very big war that we're fighting, and it's not just in the one spot of our finances. It's in every aspect of our lives. It's an easy, simple model for us to think about ourselves. Hold on one second. It is our responsibility to lead our homes in a way that is fitting of the kingdom. And even if you're not saved, it is your responsibility as a man to make sure that your family is taken care of and protected. Abortion does not protect your family. It does not help your kids to grow safely. It does not show proof of responsibility. It shows proof of cowardice. African Americans, we have to be very careful about the things that we take into our community and allow Europeans to say is the right way to conduct ourselves. We must not and must be very vigilant in protecting our children. And then, man, we also have to be there to raise our children. And women, you have to show your children virtue and softness and meekness and kindness and warmth and protection. Stuff that, people say that there is none of this in the black community. That's because we lack the parents that have those things. So let's increase that in our neighborhoods. Let's be better. Let's be stronger. And most of all, if you can, teach your kids about Christ. Tell them about a man who died on a cross for their sins, who stayed there for 3 days and 3 nights, and early one Sunday morning he got with all power in his hands. That no matter who you are, no matter how bad, no matter how messed up, no matter how crazy, no matter how sick, even if you're well, it don't matter where you are in your life, you can always come to Christ. Even if your friends are few, even if your mom doesn't love you no more, don't worry. The Lord is a parent to those who have no parents. Those who need a brother, He is a brother to the brotherless. He is a comforter to those who are naked, and He is a food for them that are hungry and water for those who are thirsty. Oh, my brothers and sisters, if I can tell you, always tell your children about Christ. Because when I look back where we didn't come from, we could have never done it without our Lord who brought us so far. Some may turn their back, but not all. So let us be vigilant in what we do and the lessons that we teach our children. God bless you. I love you. Goodbye.